7:42 in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, we're getting close to Indian Arrival Day, marking that anniversary 175 years ago when the first East Indian immigrants arrived on the Fat Razak, May 30th, 1845. And being mindful of that element of our culture and of our experience here in Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to have another one of our Trinidad Bhojpuri sessions with Dr. Visham Bimal of Caribbean Hindustani. And good to have you with us again, Dr. Visham. Give us your usual greeting.
सीताराम अस्सलाम वालेकुम नमस्ते सब सुनवैया के लोग तोहार.
Translate.
But yeah, well, which means hello and greetings to your listeners.
Well, we have a lot of ground to cover, so let's get going. We have a video that we want to play, but before we play the video, I just want to just ask you the question, Dr. Visham, because there's always that effort at different levels to retain identity, whatever that identity may be, African, Indian, European, Middle Eastern, whatever. Indian Arrival Day, in that sense, have you detected over the years, from your experience, a greater desire to identify with East Indian roots among those who would have been the descendants of the original contract laborers, indentured laborers? Are you seeing that happening?
But not at a rate it should. You also have to take in the factor that to be a person of Indian origin or Indo-Trinidadian, you live it every day. So certain things about the identity you take it for granted because you exist in that mode on a daily basis. Doubles being one of the most popular foods here, roti being the daily bread, chokha being made in the morning. It's part of the Trinidadian everyday experience, just not of the Indo-Trinidadian. The folly is rarely because people exist in that mode, they take it for granted. And policy also needs to change because it does not that only in the Indo-Trinidadian sphere, it's also in the French Creole sphere.
And it's a discussion that hopefully we'll have, maybe not this time, but another time.
Well, I hope the Minister of Education is listening because I think we need to have a more culturally sensitive education curriculum.
Explain that to me. As far as when we say culturally sensitive education system, what are we talking about here?
All right. You have to, a lot of the history that led to the development of Trinidad and Tobago, politically, geographically, in all aspects, it's left out, in my opinion, within at least the secondary school system. And I think, there's a reason for that. There's a rule called conquer and divide. And that is still a premise in our education system because it's still remnant of a colonial system. And that's essentially the point. When we look at what we learn in our education system, regarding the identity of being Trinidadian or our aspects of our daily lives, it's not well emphasized in the education system. We're bombarded by Western media, and I do think the average Trinidadian sees their identity. I think there's an inferiority complex regarding us expressing ourselves as Trinidadians only at certain times. Maybe in Carnival, maybe when we go abroad and we don't live it every day. So I think that's where it's deficient, and that's why I say the education system needs to be part of that empowerment process. Indeed,
it is a process, and it's taking a very long time to get there. But let's move along because time is going by, and we have quite a bit of ground to cover. We have a video to play that will involve a dialogue with yourself, another senior member of the East Indian community. Let's go to that video, and then when we come back, we'll deal with the proverbs, and you'll find out how bad I am with the pronunciation and so on. But let's go to the video first of all.
हमारा नाम विशाम बा ये ट्रिनिडाद के हम ट्रिनिडाद के कुलुपिया के रहिया वाली कुलुपिया के हमारा नाना नानी कुलुपिया से रहल और आजा आजी पिनाल सैन फ्रांसिस्को से रहल हाँ तो हम लोग दीपे के यहाँ पे आए और बैठ के और तो से हिंदुस्तानी में बतियाएब
हिंदुस्तानी में बोल, हिंदुस्तानी में बोल।
हिंदुस्तानी में हम इंग्लिश न जाने। हम चौहान में हमारा जन्म है।
हाँ।
और वहाँ हमारे माए बाप के ढेर प्रेमी है।
हाँ।
और एक आदमी का नाम है महाराज है।
हाँ।
तो उनका नाम है तुलसी महाराज।
तुलसी महाराज। तुहार माँ बाप ट्रिनिडाद के ना जन्म बैल कहाँ पे?
देश के
मुल्क में।
मुल्क
कौन जिला में?
बस्ती
जिला। तो बस्ती जिला तुम कुछ जाने ला?
ना 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 हमारा जन्म यहाँ भाई हुआ है, कैसे जाना?
अच्छा, नाना नानी बस्ती के बारे में कुछ ना बोला था?
हाँ उसका बच्चा है। हमारे माए बाप के जब तुम दिन भर घर आओ तो सब न जाने का बोला इंग्लिश न जाने।
राइट, ओके ओके। सो अंग्रेजी तुहार दूसर बाका ना? दूसर बाका तो पहिल बाका हिंदुस्तानी है ना? ये तो केतारी के खेत में ना? केतारी के खेत में।
केतारी के और धान के दोनों।
और धान। ओह ओके।
हम लोग ढेर धान बोती।
तो ये सब खेत कहाँ पे रहा?
कौन से?
ये धान और केतारी के खेत में जो उन लोग में काम करते हैं के आसपास में।
Interesting dialogue, and if I could bring Dr. Visham into it, just so we could understand, the gentleman that you spoke to there, Hindi or Hindustani would be his first language, but he also would speak English, because I think at one time it appeared that he was saying that he didn't speak English at all.
No, he said he would choose to speak in English first. You have to realize that a lot of these older folk, I just want to identify him. He is Mr. Hiracharu. He is a Kabir Pant, a Mahant. Kabir Pant is a sect of Hinduism that exists in Trinidad, which is also remnant and a significant point in Indian leadership. But his first language would be Hindustani, like my grandparents, right? Interestingly about his Hindustani is his Hindustani had a lot of Avadhi, where it depends on the education of the person. Avadhi was what the Ramcharitramanas is written in, and he reads Kabir Sakhi. Sakhi is a Kabir Das poems, which are in Varanasi Boli, which has been translated into Avadhi now. So because he's well literate in Hindustani, most of the viewers wouldn't realize, but there was a lot of Avadhi versus Bhojpuri. Avadhi also forms part of Trinidad Bhojpuri. He would have learned Trinidad English Creole after. That would be his second language.
Right. So let's move along, because as I said, time goes by very quickly, much quicker than we would like it to. So take us through our proverbs this morning, Doc.
Okay, you read it out, because I can't remember the order, but when you read it, I will understand.
Okay, all right. We'll put it up on the screen, and please try to understand that my pronunciation can be terrible.
I'll put it on this one.
So the first one is Ja churwa bhar pani mein dub maro.
Right. Ja churwa mein bhar pani mein dub maro.
Right.
So it means, and you see the picture there. There's a palm with water in it.
Yes.
And
somebody looking like they're drawn in.
Yeah. In Hindi is chulu bhar pani mein doob maro. It also exists in Hindi. So it's like if somebody come and say something, and you say, well, you should be ashamed of yourself. Why you say something like that? So that's the English equivalent. Or if you ask your parents to go out and they don't agree, but you insist, they'll tell you, well, churwa bhar pani mein doob mar. Go and kill yourself. But it literally means drown yourself in exactly what you see in the picture. Drown yourself in a cup palm of water.
And that's the one word I was able to pick up. Pani means water, not so?
Yes.
That's the only thing I was able to pick up from that. So okay, let's move into another proverb now that we'll have, and I'll try with my pronunciation. Jaise bap, oise betwa.
Yeah, you think I can figure that one out? That one kind of okay. Bap is
like father, like son.
Oh my God, Fazir, you are my number one student. Yes, that's what it means.
But the thing is, Doc, if trust me, if I could have worked that one out, everybody else did. Trust me.
Yes, I think so.
And I think it was self-explanatory when you saw the images with the cape and so on, like father, like son, following in the footsteps of the father and so on. So let's see our next one. This is getting quite interesting. Okay, all right. Now this has a nice sunset scene and so on. Lal piar jab ho, akas tab nana barka keas. Help me.
Lal piar howe akas. Na, I think it is na awe barka keas, right? Essentially, same thing I just said there. So that literally means, and I still find trouble to find an English equivalent. That literally means, if the sky is pink and yellow, then there's no hope of rain. So I guess something essentially, when the sky looks a particular way, there's no hope of rain. That's essentially what it means. I still struggle to find. I don't know if you could figure that one out.
I'm trying to think of it. I suppose is it meant to be literal, as in an actual indicator of when rain is going to come, or is it figurative with some sort of meaning?
I think it would have been literal, but just like literal things become metaphors, it eventually became a metaphor. So, like, okay, if you know for any particular reason that there is something that happened, that will, like, anytime that happens, well, something else will. Like, for instance, if the ice cream truck is outside, children are going to come out in the road.
Right, I get you. I kind of understand that the sign of this indicates that. I get you in that.
Yes.
Time is almost up on us, Dr. Visham. Just your. I think we have another one. Yes, sorry. I'm sorry. Let's go quickly to this one. It's Bhagwan hi jane ka hoi.
You think you can figure that one out?
Time. Something to do with time. Time waits for no man, or something like that.
No, Bhagwan jane ka hoi. So Bhagwan is God, right? It would not. Well, the rest might make sense, but I thought with Bhagwan I might probably figure that one out.
Okay.
Only God knows. Only God knows. And the picture of time there meaning that, well, I mean, we don't know what will happen in the future. Only God.
All right, so I just marked down myself after my fancy thing about like father, like son, and so on. I just lose points.
The whole idea of learning languages is you don't have to understand everything. If you understand 40%, you can piece it together, and you slowly move to understanding more over time.
Dr. Visham, thanks very much once again for taking the time to be with us this morning and to enlighten us on Bhojpuri and understanding the different dialects and the richness of our culture here in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, as we go to the break, how about these images of an amrak, which is also known as a cocoa cherry tree? I'm assuming that these will be a lot smaller. That's why the cherry reference and so on. And very interestingly sent to us by Kamla in Point Fortin. She says the fruit is very sour, but is used for making delicious chutney and achar dishes. So thanks very much for Kamla from Point Fortin for sending us those images. Let's go to a break now, and I'll be back in a while to wrap up the show.